Good morning, followers. Welcome to my channel today. Penny Platypus jumping on, and I just want to welcome everybody, especially my new followers. Love the fact that I've got some more new followers, and for those that have been with me from the start, welcome. And also, if you want to share on any of the platforms that you've seen my new YouTube channel, please feel free to do that, and also, you know, make comments and what have you. I don't have the capacity to drop by every day, but what I will say is that I feel like I have put a bit of thought into today's channel program, and I'm not sure how long it's going to go for, but if you can make yourself comfortable, find a lounge chair, find the couch, find somewhere comfortable to sit, because today's going to be a real journey, and I want you to feel really calm, really relaxed, and that's the space I'm totally in at the moment. And that's going to be put down to number one, like the bags under my eyes. I'm actually feeling really wrecked, and that's because I've upped my meds, which I did say the other day that I had done that, and yesterday afternoon I was smashed, asleep on the couch for 2 hours, but that's okay, and no migraine for 3 days. So that is, you know, you got to take the good with the bad. You've got to measure and outweigh what one thing works, you know, rules out one thing but creates another. So my body's in adjustment mode. So therefore, that's why I'm just saying I can't be here every day. But what I want to do is bring you quality stuff. And for today, without battling on, rattling on, what have you, this is going to be a real journey. And I've set up a few little props, and I've also gone out into the garden because this is where I feel grounded. This is where I feel where I can tune in. I can listen to the birds. I can feel the dirt. I can, you know, put my hands in the soil. I can, you know, turn my head. I can, you know, look into the sky and watch the leaves, you know, and the branches swing in the breeze, and all of those things that we need to expose our vestibular system to. But, you know, without further ado, let's pop in and get on with what I've come here to say, and that is, I'm going to ask everyone to turn inwards. And where I'm going with this is that, you know, on yesterday or the day before's post, I was talking about the dog eat dog world, you know, out there, everybody against everybody, everyone pushing and shoving, you know, everyone's like me, it's my turn, it's, you know, get out of my road, this, that, the other. And I was like, where have we gone so wrong? And I'm like, okay, let's just think about this and how can we come back to ourselves. Now for us, our vestibular system in our Pppd situation is not working. We all know that. We all know that something has tripped us over the edge. Like, not necessarily just one little thing. It could have been an accumulation of, you know, a number of things that has literally tripped us or tipped us over the edge, like a pot of boiling water with, you know, pasta in it. It's just bubbled and bubbled and bubbled. No one's turned down the heat, and we've literally boiled over. So, you know, I know why I boiled over. Like, on several occasions I know why I boiled over, because my body was like, oh my God, Brooke, you cannot take this any longer. So where I'm saying at this minute in time is let's turn in. Okay, so I'm going to take you on a journey. And I'm going to talk about our senses, our sensory system. Our senses are, number one, we've got, and let me try to remember them. We've got smell. You know, you can smell perfume, or here's one of my props, I pre-prepared. Here's a beautiful rose. Okay, this beautiful rose that I brought, picked out of the garden, I can smell its perfume. These beautiful little pink flowers. Probably poisonous, I don't know. They smell, but you know, they've got a perfume. That's smell. You know, you can smell something, okay? That's one of our senses. Number two, you've got taste. So if I eat this biscuit, this chocolate chip biscuit, which I'm not going to eat, but that's two. That's your taste. You can taste something. You can eat something and taste it. Three, I can hear, all right? I can hear the birds in the background chirping in the trees. You know, if you're in the city, you can hear the sirens of an ambulance. You can hear the sirens of a police car. You can hear the honking horns of trucks and cars. You can hear the trains going, you know, in the background. You can hear in, you know, different areas around the place, people talking. You can hear the constant movement of a city environment. You know, here on the farm, I can hear my crackos up the back there talking all day about something. You know, the guinea fowl, chat, good. You know, the birds, all those different things, you know, people communicating to us. That's our third senses. So we've got smell, we've got taste, we've got hearing, and then we've got touch. Okay, so I pick up the rose again. Ow, there you go. I touched the thorn. So that hurt. That's my reaction. Ow, I've touched the thorn. So my body senses that I've touched something that's spiky, and wow, it's told my brain, oh my God, touch, that's danger. You've touched the thorn on the rose, you know, there you go. That's touch. And then what else have we got? Taste. See, I've got myself confused easily enough. Like, as I said to my kids, I can't even remember the alphabet. Smell. What do we have? Hang on a second. I see I'm not even going to be able to do it. I can't recall. So we've got smell, touch, taste, hear, and hang on a second. I'll be back. Okay, welcome back. 10 minutes later, I've collected my thoughts. It's so interesting. This is what Pppd, like, I'm not embarrassed at all about the fact that I had to pause the movie. Look, there you go. It's like, oh my gosh, how, you know, this is true. This is just true stuff. You're looking at someone that's real. Like, I'm such a Pppd person. Like, everything that I'm demonstrating to you is just real life stuff. Like, so I've had a moment in that video, in that presentation, just at the end there, where I could not recall what I was talking about. So I've had to pause and then go away, get a piece of paper and a pen, because that's my way of learning things. I have to write stuff down, so that it's, because I just know that that's my learning technique, is to write things down. And then I've come back, sat down, went to write down the fifth sense that I had forgotten, and the pen didn't work. So then I went back, got a pen that did work, and then I went to sit down again to start, and then the sun was in my face. So I've changed direction that I'm sitting in the garden. So anyway, what I will do is I've just written a couple of little notes, so I'll recap where I was up to. So number one that I was talking about, and I've done the demonstration already, but I'll run through it so that everyone's clear and we're all on the same page. Smell. So we smelt the rose. Number two, we tasted, or we know that's our second sense, taste the chocolate chip biscuit. Here, I can hear the birds in the garden. They fly around. One just flew over my head. I can hear them tweeting in the trees. We talked about, you know, in the city environment, all the things, the trains, the ambulances, the people talking, the muffled sounds, all the rest of it. Then I touched the rose thorn. So, you know, the sense of that is that I was pricked by the thorn on the rose. It went straight to my brain. It told me, danger, goodness, you've touched something spiky, danger, you know, that hurt. And that was a sense that came in that loop really quickly back to me to say, don't do that again, on the rose thorn. And then the fifth sense, which is part of our system, is obviously see. So with our beautiful eyes, we see if we have vision. So we can see that, you know, obviously with my pre-picked bunch of flowers again, we can see that this beautiful rose here is a white rose, or it's, you know, white or creamy colour, and that, you know, these flowers here are a little pink flower with a little sort of yellow buttercup cream centre in them, or that I'm wearing a pink and white striped shirt, or that, you know, that we know that ambulances have red and blue sirens on top. The same for police, have got red and blue sirens on top. We recognise things through colours, you know, that a guide dog, you know, could be a cream Labrador, you know, different things like that. You know, colours give us different indications, you know, that a Qantas aeroplane has a red flying kangaroo on it. You know, different things give us different cues and things like that. So, you know, they're our five senses, and we automatically are, you know, born with all of those senses. And, you know, like for some people that are impaired and things like that, you know, they, you know, may have not been born with those type things. They may have hearing difficulties, or vision impaired people may have those. But in our situation with Pppd, you know, we're struggling with a vestibular disorder where some of those things and a lot of those senses have gone haywire. But where I'm going with this is that there's more senses than just our five senses. And where I'm wanting you to tune into is your sixth sense. And I'm not sure if anyone's ever really talked about your sixth sense, but your sixth sense, and it's number 6, your sixth sense. And for me, I know that that's my intuitive sense, my gut feeling sense, not your thinking head, but your heart or your gut sense, like your almost knowing sense, is your sixth sense. And this is where I'm asking for you to tune into, is this sixth sense. And interestingly enough, with this sixth sense, it is actually our vestibular system is our sixth sense. So it's responsible for balance. So truly, if you're really, really struggling with your vestibular system and your balance, like mine, is totally so off, like to the point where, you know, I was like walking along and then all of a sudden veering to the left and then going flying to the left, like without any control whatsoever. And, you know, often we're referred to or looked upon in communities or down the street like we're drunk, like we're walking along and we look seriously drunk to people. And that's because our vestibular system, our balance system, has gone haywire. So, you know, we need to work on this sixth sense a lot more. We need to work on getting this balance system working better for us. And so, you know, not only is that our, you know, balance, but also it's our sixth sense where we need to start, you know, tuning inwards to ourselves. And the seventh sense that we also have is our proprioception. And so proprioception is basically where your body and it's where your body actually has the ability, and I'm just going to look at my note so that I'm going to tell you the right thing. It actually proprioception is its ability to sense where it is in space and time without using your sight. So basically it's like it's responsible for the movement of your body and your sort of spatial awareness, and also the force in which you do something. So it's like, and this is my example that I've got in my hand, and I'll bring it up to you. So if I was to close my eyes and I'm going to bring this cup in, I'm actually just going to hold it here. So my body is actually doing this, holding this cup naturally by itself, using my proprioception skills, holding the cup of water, and it's doing this little exercise of holding the cup that's got water in it, and it's using its proprioception skills by actually knowing how hard or how soft to hold the cup without spilling the water or crushing the cup too hard or making the water fall out of it. So that's, your body is actually, you know, automatically kicking into gear with its proprioception skills to hold that cup of water without spilling it or crushing the cup, knowing instinctively how to manage it without crushing it or, you know, falling over or doing what have you. So I've run through those senses, but we've only really, as people and humans, been learnt or told or taught that we've got 5 senses, and our 6th sense never really talked about. And for me, what I want to do is take you on a journey of how we can actually start to to go within. So let's just go with this, okay? So I want you to close your eyes and just take a big deep breath. I want you to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Breathe in and out through your mouth. And breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And let those shoulders drop. And then what I want you to do is place a hand on your heart. Either breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, or breathe in through your mouth and out through your mouth. Whichever way actually lets all that pent up energy that you're holding inside of your body out, and let those shoulders drop. Just really let them drop. You know, let that neck tension drop. And then place a second hand on your stomach. So if you've got your eyes closed, I want you to connect with your hand on your heart. I want you to visualize, take in your eyes and visualize taking your hand and your eyes to that heart space. And drop down into that heart space. And I just want you to ask yourself, do you feel calmer? And then what we're going to do with our eyes closed, we're going to take a walk up into our head. And what we're going to do when we walk up in our visual mind, we're going to take a walk up into our head. So in your head, as you go from your heart space up into your head, you're sort of creeping up the back of your neck, and you're creeping up in through the top of your mouth, and you're creeping up into the top of your cerebral, climbing up your back of your spinal cord. No one's ever done this with you before, I'm really, really sure of it, because I've just hatched this today. Take another big deep breath and let that out, let that go. And as you go up into the back of your head and you're walking around up inside the back of your brain, I want you to hop up, climb that little ladder. We're going to hop up inside that vestibular system. Now, you've all looked at it, I know, because you've all researched it, and you've all Googled it, and you've all looked at it, and you've all seen what your vestibular system looks like. I want you to hop up there, and I want you to sit inside your vestibular system. What can you see? Can you see any channels of fluid moving around? Can you see any hairs standing on the end? Can you see any bridges or any lumps or bumps or anything that sort of looks a bit interesting? Is there anything up there that you want to fix? Can you see any colours? Is there any patches you want to put on, any spots? Is there any mending you want to do? Is there any holes you want to plug? Is Is there any bits that you want to iron out? Is there any bits you want to smooth over? Is there any bits you want to put a little bit of warm water on? Take another big deep breath. Seeing any colour? Seeing anything that you feel feels a bit better? Are you sensing any stillness? Now what I want you to do while you're up here in your vestibular system is to give it a name. Just think about it for a minute. What's it telling you it wants to be called? It's not going to come from your head. It's going to come from your heart. What does it want to be called? Because remember, it's not me against you. It's me and you. This is you. This is yours. Have you been thrown by being asked to name your vestibular system? Has anyone ever asked you to name your vestibular system? Are you going to be mean to your vestibular system and give it a nasty name? Or are you going to be kind to it and give it a name that you can talk to it and also refer to it? And then when you're having a great deal of trouble down the street and you're dizzy and you're off balance, and you can say, hey Pippa, let's do this together. Let's work this out together. I need you to work with me today, Pippa. Okay. How's everyone feeling? Is there any one last hole you need to plug up? Is there any last patch that you need to put over? Is there anything else you want to iron out? Okay, so as you start to climb the ladder back down from your vestibular system, I know that this won't be the last time that you'll be back up here. But as you climb the ladder back down and you close over that door and you come back down and you're climbing down, and you're climbing back down into that cerebral area, and you slide back down those spinal cord all the way back down into the heart space, and you start to think about the colours that you've experienced and the name that you've just given your vestibular system, and you think, oh wow, this is the craziest thing I've ever just done. And you breathe and you go, wow, and you come back round and you open your eyes. And you think, wow, that was a really interesting little type of experiment that I've done today. But, you know, I just absolutely think that this is an incredible what's the word? I just feel so peaceful and so called to have shared this particular journey with you all today. So, you know, I hope you get something out of it, and I feel incredibly relaxed. I feel so at ease and peaceful, and I'm not skilled at any of these things in particular. You know, like I've had training in lots of different things. I'm a bit of a jack of all trades, but you know, when it comes to, you know, just knowing how to be, you know, I don't know, there for others and wanting to share my story, you know, open your heart space, and that is why I'm here. So, you know, keep being you. As I always say, you're all amazing, and I hope that you've all got something out of today. But nurture your vestibular system, give it its name, talk to it, be kind. Now that you've named it, you know, you've connected it to you, and it's not you against it. It's now part of you. So, and hold it in your heart space and not in your head, and see if we can find a shift for you. So I hope you've enjoyed today. Leave me a comment. Share this with everybody, because I think that this is going to make a great shift for everyone. So thanks for today, and I'll check in with you next time. Okay, bye.